Hello everybody and welcome back to the 101 with M and Ollie channel. Today we're going to be doing our Game Week 7 Premier League predictions. M, what are you thinking for this game so far?
For the games this
For
week?
the game, the games.
Well, I see Spurs versus Liverpool as the only good game of the week, but
Yeah.
I think Villa and Brighton's also really good. So
That could be a good game too.
How we feeling? We're diving straight into it then.
So let's just dive right into the opening fixtures. Again, no Friday games. So we're starting off on Saturday with Aston Villa at home to Brighton. M, how do you see this one playing out?
I can see this one playing out either way, actually, because both teams grabbed the big result last week. They both won, and both teams doesn't really have any outstanding injuries. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really good game. Who's at home this week? Villa, right?
That makes Villa are the home team.
That makes it even better because I think that Brighton probably edges Villa.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone might say that Brighton is a better team than Villa, but Villa is playing at home, Villa Park. So really, really tight game. I'm going to go for a good old 2-2 draw and Matoma to keep up his scoring form from last game. And yeah, he's my anytime goal scorer. Go for it then. Give us your take.
I have a pretty similar analysis to what M's saying. You know, home advantage may be crucial for Aston Villa, but both teams are in good form despite both teams actually dumping out of the Carabao Cup this past week. But Premier League form, domestic form, they're doing amazingly. So I've actually gone with an away win. I've gone with Brighton to win 2-1 and Lewis Dunk to be the anytime goal scorer.
Well, there you have it. So we're going to move on to the following match. Bournemouth at home playing Arsenal away. Mm-hmm. Give us your thoughts.
I think this is probably can only go one way. Arsenal are definitely going to want to come out there and really just get back to their best after not playing their best whatsoever against Spurs in the North London Derby. I mean, you know, a lot of their fans are saying, yeah, they're unbeaten, but they're just not anywhere near the levels they were this past season. So with all that being said, I really don't see any trouble for Arsenal in this game despite it being away from home. So I've gone for a 2-0 Arsenal win with Martin Odegaard to be the anytime goal scorer.
I actually see a lot of trouble for Arsenal this game.
Really?
Yeah. As I said, they haven't been that good in my opinion. They haven't been that good in your opinion. They got a 2-2 draw against Spurs last week in the North London Derby. Mm-hmm. But they do have a chance of missing Trossard. Trossard might not play. Saka might not play. Rice might not play. And Martinelli will probably not play.
Yeah.
On top of Thomas Partey and Yuri and Timber, but Partey's kind of irrelevant right now.
Yeah.
I think this is Arsenal sort of like breaking point. They kept getting away with it with these, close victory where they grinded out the result. I don't think they'll be able to do it this week against Bournemouth. So, interesting enough, I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to go for 1-1. Okay. And Gabriel Jesus will be my anytime goal scorer as he's the only one who is probably confirmed to play.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. But let's move on to probably another relegation 6-pointer. It's Everton at home to Luton. Everton on really good form. They just knocked out Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup. They got their first Prem win of the season away at Brentford, and now they're facing a pretty, Luton are happy that they got a point, but they're just barely scraping the barrel with anything this season. So, yeah, I really don't think that this is going to be a really entertaining game, but it's going to prove crucial come the end of the season. So I've gone with Everton to win their third game in a row in all competitions, 1-0. Danjuma to be the anytime goal scorer.
I think if Everton can't win this game, they're not going to win any games anymore.
Yeah.
This is going to be their best bet at 3 points. This is going to be Jordan Pickford's best bet at a clean sheet. I'm not looking at it like that.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
Even though I did bring in Carlton Morris in FPL and it's worked out fantastically last week, I do think that Everton will get a result this game. I mean, they don't have any outstanding injuries at the moment. Seamus Coleman,
Dele,
Jack Harrison. I was going to get there. Jack Harrison might play, and Dele Alli, but I don't think that's too relevant. So I have gone for a 3-1 Everton win at home at Goodison. But my anytime goal scorer, however, is Carlton Morris yet again.
Okay.
Because I think I kind of have to back my boy, right?
Yeah, you've got.
And speaking about backing my boy, I will back my team. Manchester United at home to Crystal Palace. We had a massive win midweek against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
3-0 League Cup. Casemiro proved himself to be an absolute cup merchant, but that's okay.
That's true.
Because the entire team performed well, other than Donny van der Beek, which is really, really upsetting.
What was his cameo again?
He had 20 minutes, but
with 4 fouls.
4 fouls, yeah.
Yeah.
But he is my favorite player. I love Donny van de Beek, and I think he'll get more game time this weekend against Crystal Palace at home. Ten Hag does have to change things up for this game though, because if we keep the same game plan for the one midweek, we're gonna be in some trouble because what was it, Roy Hodgson he probably learned it, he probably wrote it down, he's probably gonna tell his players, hey, this is how Erik Ten Hag's gonna line up, this is how these players are gonna react, this is how they're gonna behave. So he's gonna have to do some serious rotation, some serious change in game plan, and he's gonna have to approach it a lot differently. However, there's always a however. I still think it's going to be relatively easy for Man United because I think that game in the Carabao Cup midweek is a bit of a turning point. We're going to start playing well. We've got players back now. Even though we still miss a lot of players, it's a pretty strong side as we're looking at right now. So Man United to win 2-0 at home, in my opinion, and my anytime goal scorer is Bruno Fernandes.
Okay.
Give us your take.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned rotation because that's one thing you and Man United fans have been crying out forever for Ten Hag to rotate in cup competitions or against lesser opponents, and he actually did that against Palace, didn't he?
And it worked.
I mean, Casemiro played, but Bruno finally didn't play in a cup game. Rashford didn't play. He gave minutes to Mabry, Amrabat, Mount. Sure, Donny van de Beek, yeah, he got some minutes finally. Yeah, that was definitely your best performance of the season, and this could just be stirring the pot, but it may be because there was no Bruno and Rashford. You never know. Maybe that the ego ball merchants weren't in the team anymore. They played a bit more of a team aspect. So with all that being said, obviously Ten Hag's going to go back to a more stronger side now that we're back in the Prem. And I've actually gone for a 3-0 Man United win with Mason Mount to get his first goal as a Man United player.
That's smart.
I
double
think it's
3-0.
smart as well.
We do the 3-0
Well, you
double
went
over
2-0.
Crystal Palace. No, we won 3-0.
Oh, you said in
Midweek.
general.
No, I said
week.
you. From the Carabao Cup.
Essentially, yeah. But let's move on then to another probably top 6 competitor. We've got Newcastle at home to Burnley after smashing 8 past Sheffield United. How do you think this one will go?
Yeah, I think it's full of crap that it's 8-0. I'm sorry, I'm not over it because the officiating is just so poor.
Yeah.
But I don't see an issue for I don't see an issue for Newcastle United this game, even though they do have a lot of players that are in doubt who might not play. Callum Wilson, Jacob Murphy, Alexander Isak, Bruno Guimaraes, Dan Burns, Sven Botman all might not play this week.
That's their entire starting 11.
But yeah, they're all in doubt, but I think they will probably all pull through and play because none of these injuries are serious. It's probably just knocks and stuff like that. You still have the other guys still out. Joe Linton's still out. Harvey Barnes is out from last game, which I'm really salty about. Emil Kraft and Joe Willock, but those guys are kind of irrelevant nowadays.
Yeah.
I think Newcastle will have no issue beating Burnley. Burnley lost last week while Newcastle put 8 past Sheffield United. This is going to be a comfortable 2-0 for Newcastle. My anytime goal scorer, therefore, will be Callum Wilson.
Okay. I think a bit differently too. I'm just going to say it now. I think it'll actually be a draw. I think Burnley played well in the League Cup. I think they progressed today or yesterday, or as you're watching this, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, and they played really well against you guys past weekend. I mean, they controlled all the possession. They had great chances. They just couldn't finish. And Newcastle are definitely a stronger side than Burnley, and it's not like it's going to be a close game possession-wise. But I think Burnley, they're slowly getting a bit more confidence. They're slowly, playing company's system in the league, and he's adjusted it a bit to face stiffer competition. So I actually think Newcastle are going to drop points after their big 8-0 performance. So I've gone with the 2-2 draw. Anytime goal scorer to be Alexander Isak.
Oh, there you have it.
Yep.
That is definitely an interesting take. A hot one nonetheless. But the next game we have room for some more hot takes. No, we don't. This one's no-brainer. West Ham at home to Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Give us your thought first. Go on, mate.
Okay. It's basically a no-brainer. I mean, Sheffield United's just so bad. I keep saying it every week, but they're awful. I don't see them getting any opportunities on goal this game. I think West Ham are just going to control it from start to finish. They've got way too much quality to outshine Sheffield United's below-average players. So I've gone with the 2-0 home win and Lucas Paqueta to be the anytime goal scorer.
Yeah, I've gone for something similar. I think West Ham is just such a good team this year. David Moyes is the best mid-table coach in the world. He's done it at Everton for years. He's now doing it at West Ham for years. And they've got no injuries either. while Sheffield United just got absolutely slapped last week.
Yeah.
So I see nothing but a 4-1 West Ham United win at home at the London Stadium, and I think Jared Bowen's probably going to score again this week.
Yeah. Was that like a backhanded comment to David Moyes, the best mid-table manager ever?
It's the best mid-table manager ever.
No, that's not a great achievement if you're a good mid-table manager.
Yeah, but like if you're
that's someone who took over from Fergie.
That's better than what's his face. Yeah, and he turned United into a mid-table team.
To be fair, he did.
That's like better than being Sam Allardyce. He's a relegation manager.
Yeah, true.
Exactly. I'd rather be playing my team who will finish from 8th to 13th than Sam Allardyce who will always get you 17th.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a compliment in my books.
Okay, he's right. But let's move on to probably again the most boring fixture because we all know how it's going to go. It's Wolves at home to Manchester City. I mean, is there really anything we should talk about this at all?
I think there is.
Oh, do you?
I genuinely do. Man City, they go through these patches where they just absolutely win, and they do nothing else. But every now and then, they go away to some random tin pot team and they drop points. And Wolves, even though they are shocking this year, I still see sparks of good football by Wolverhampton Wanderers. So especially for this game, at the Molineux, right? They're at home. Yeah, at the Molineux.
Yeah.
I think City are going to drop points.
Do you really?
I think City are going to drop points. I hope so
for the title race.
I think it's going to be an absolutely entertaining game of football.
Wow.
That is going to end 2-2 between Wolves and Manchester City.
Such a weird shout.
But
2-2.
But my anytime goal scorer is still Erling Haaland. So.
That's boring. Okay, well, I've gone complete opposite. I've gone 4-0 Man City away win. I don't think they're going to have any trouble whatsoever. They rotated in the Carabao Cup this week. The main 11 is going to be fit and firing, and I think they're going to dispatch Wolves like they weren't even there. So I've gone with 4-0 and Phil Foden to be the anytime goal scorer.
All right, there you have it. Game of the week then. Spurs at home to Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah. It's your game,
yeah.
So go for it.
Okay, well, first off, I am confident. I am in full belief of Postecoglou and what he's trying to implement. But Liverpool have been such a bogey team for Spurs in the past, I don't know how many seasons. If you think back to last year, we come back from, 3-1 down or something, Richarlison to score a last-minute equalizer, and then we lose with the last kick of the game 5 seconds later. I mean, we've played them in the past, even this is a home game, but we've played them in the past away from home where we've had an own goal at the end for them to win. We've hit the post 3 times in one game and not ended up winning. Like, there's been so many just crazy things that you never see happen in a game, but always happens to us against Liverpool. So I think if we were going up against a City, if we were going up against, well, I would say Chelsea, but they're not too good at the moment. But any high-powered team, I'd be confident. But it's just Liverpool at home or away is just such a dodgy fixture for us. But with that being said, I'm still super confident in us. I still think we're going to be titling for the challenge. I still think we're going to challenge for the title. I still think, we're going to go out there, play our style of football, and take advantage of Liverpool's leaky back line. So I've gone for a 3-2 home Spurs win and Richarlison to come off the bench, score the winner, and be my anytime goal scorer. How do you think this one will play out?
I think it was the hardest one to predict of the entire week because it's just neither of these teams are predictable, and both of these teams in the last 3 years have done this thing where they go on a really good run of form and then just lose. Both Spurs and Liverpool. So that's why I've gone for the most boring result possible. A 1-1 draw, anytime goal scorer of the man in form himself, Heung-min Son.
He'll feast, 100%.
You think he'll feast?
Well, I think because if Trent doesn't play, right, that means Joe Gomez comes into the inverted role. And if we play somebody like Brennan Johnson off the left, who's just so pacey, and if he's recovered well enough to play this game, if we can get one outlet ball to Johnson, who's already on the wing, whereas Gomez is in the middle, he's bombing down the line. That means Van Dijk or Konate is going to have to draw him forward, or he's going to draw them towards them on the touch line, the end line, and then Son's going to be running right through the middle. If we can just get some good balls in, he'll get a few 1-2 touches, goals. So I'm confident. I think that's how it's going to play out. But let's move on then to the only fixture on Sunday this week. A bit weird that it's only one, but it's Nottingham Forest at home to Brentford. What do you think will happen in this one?
I think Brentford will be just fine. My guess is that you're not going to think that. I think Brentford's going to be just fine. They had a blip last week against Everton. They'll be back to their best. But let's look at Nottingham Forest actually, because they've been the team that's like intrigued me the most this year. You never know which Nottingham Forest you're going to get. So last week they lost. They couldn't even beat Burnley, but then they beat Chelsea the week before. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, this one, and we're going to be watching Nottingham Forest like we always do, because they always sort of play alone, don't they? Yeah. They play on the day where there's no other fixtures, so we always end up watching Nottingham Forest. But for this one, I think Brentford's going to just simply pull through. It's going to be a 2-1 away win, and my anytime goal scorer falls to Mbeumo.
Mbeumo? Okay, like you kind of said, I think a bit differently going into this one, because I think Forest have been pretty decent to start the season. I mean, true, you don't know which one you're going to get, but you can't discredit a win against Chelsea. They played a tough team like Burnley, who's not tough, but they're in the same bracket of what's the word, like competition, and it's always hard going away to Man City. So I think this one, now that because they're at home, or are they at home, or is Brentford at home? I think it's Nottingham Forest. I think Nottingham Forest is at home, right? It's at the City.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's at the City ground.
So with that being said, I think it's going to be a boring 1-1 draw, and I think Morgan Gibbs-White will be the anytime goal scorer.
There you have it. You have Morgan Gibbs-White. And then the Monday fixture, this one, I think this might be the most unpredictable game of the week, more so than the game that we just spoke about. Fulham at home to Chelsea. Playing Chelsea might as well feel like playing a non-league side called Forest Green at this point, because I don't know. They're terrible.
Yeah.
They are worth more than the entire city of New York, but they play horrendously. And again, Nicholas Jackson couldn't finish. So I don't know which one you're going to get. You're either going to get a Chelsea 5-0 win or Fulham beating them 1-0 like they always do.
Yeah.
Therefore, I have actually gone for a 2-2 draw, which makes no sense.
No.
But yeah, I've gone for a 2-2 draw, and my anytime goal scorer will go to Raheem Sterling. Not Nicholas Jackson, Raheem Sterling.
Well, yeah, it's not a surprise that you don't like Nicholas Jackson, considering he's had such a poor start to the season and he can't finish anything. But to give him credit, he scored in the League Cup this midweek against Brighton to get his second goal of the season against Brighton.
Games.
Against Brighton. So, yeah, I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. And they didn't really play that well, but as you know, I don't really rate Fulham at all this season, so I've gone with an away win. I've gone with Chelsea to win 2-0, and I've gone with Cole Palmer to be my anytime goal scorer.
Fantastic. Last but not least, we have a special for you. A double game week, the first one of the year. It is Luton at home to Burnley on Tuesday.
What a boring game.
For God's sake.
I can't think of anything worse.
I'll probably watch it.
Of course we will.
It's Luton at home to Burnley. This is a 6-pointer here.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's relegation, right? So you got to look at how these teams will perform midweek too. I mean at the weekend too, because Luton has a way better chance of getting a result against Everton than Burnley away to Newcastle. So using that philosophy, I'm gonna actually go for a Luton at home win, and to massively help their chances of staying up this year. 3-0. I think they're going to smack them.
3-0?
3-0. I think they're going to smack them.
Bro, that's crazy.
And my anytime goal scorer.
You think Luton's going to score 3 goals?
Yeah. No doubt, bro. Their first game at home, their breakthrough moment.
Okay.
And then they'll go back to losing next week.
Yeah, probably.
But, Luton to win 3-0, and my anytime goal scorer...
You can't pick him twice, bro.
...is Carlton Morris.
No, you can't pick him twice in 1 week. You can't do that. It's unfair. Anyways, to be honest, I completely forgot this was part of the schedule this week because I could care less about Luton or Burnley. But as I mentioned, I thought Burnley were going to pick up points against Newcastle. So I think they're going to do the same. I think they're going to go into Luton. They're going to win 1-0. And I think Zeki Mdouni is going to be the anytime goal scorer.
Good shout. That wraps up then every single game that you're going to have this weekend. Mm-hmm. So we're going to move on to the final section of the week, the glorious section, as I call it at the moment, because I am absolutely flying. Fantasy Premier League. Mm-hmm. What transfer have you made this week, Ollie? Or have you made any transfers?
I haven't made any transfers yet because I've been waiting for injury news, and now we know that Saka is a major doubt. now I know that knowledge, and I may want to take him out of the team. So I haven't made any transfers yet. Have you?
Yes, I indeed
You have?
I've made my transfers
This guy
today
doesn't tell
in
me, bro.
class. I didn't need to say that it was in class. Anyways, yes, I have made my transfer for this week.
Yeah.
Trent Alexander-Arnold finally got the boot for the man with the most expected points for the next 5 games. The British right back himself, playing for Newcastle, Kieran Trippier.
So sweaty.
That's also saved me a lot of money because now I've got £2.3 million in the bank. I might actually, you'll see my team in a minute. I'm probably going to captain Carlton Morris too.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping for another big week right after my last big week.
I think obviously I will make a transfer, and if it is Saka who's going out due to the fact that he can't play, then I may look to actually bring Sonny in, because after Liverpool, Spurs, we've got a really decent fixture list, like Everton, Luton, Fulham in the next few games. So that's one option. I also think maybe a decent option could be just a straight swap with Odegaard. Arsenal have, after City in a couple weeks, a pretty good fixture run. So I don't know. You'll see, by the time this video is out, you'll see which transfer I've made. But at the moment, I haven't made any.
All right, that's about everything we have for you today. We are going to see you lot again on Tuesday tea time. Yep, Tuesday about tea time for your Game Week 7 recap. Oh no, you won't see us on Tuesday. You'll probably see us on Wednesday because we've got to wait for the double game week. You'll see us on Wednesday for the Game Week 7 and partially Game Week 3 recap.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that's about all we have for you today. We will see you on Wednesday for the Game Week 7 and partially Game Week 3 for Burnley and Luton recap. But I think until then, be sure to remember, leave a like, subscribe, show everyone this video, and press on that tiny little bell icon so you will get notified every single time we upload. And goodbye.